Your front-facing faces still look off? Let's fix that right now. I'm drawing this portrait step by step, breaking it all down. Stick around till the end. Let's finally nail it together. Now take a look at this face, and then look at this structure.
How?
Don't worry, it's not magic. Once you understand the basic shapes, it all starts to make sense. Let's start with a circle, the foundation of everything. But the real question is, where exactly do we place it? All right, according to the general Loomis rule, the circle starts from the very top of the head and goes down to the bottom of the upper jaw. All right, sorry girl, but the hair's gotta go. We need to see where your head actually begins. Remember, the Loomis circle starts at the top of the skull, not where your fabulous hair starts. Big difference. Don't get fooled. So, if we place the circle from the top of the head to the bottom of the upper jaw, like we said, well, this ends up being a really big circle. Why? Because naturally this girl has a tall forehead. The distance from her brows to the top of her head is quite long. So, with all due respect, sorry Mr. Loomis, I made a small adjustment. I decided to shrink the circle a bit and shift it down slightly. I imagined what a more average head shape might look like. So now I'm starting the circle just above the hairline and still ending at the bottom of the upper jaw. And you know what? This feels more balanced to me. Sorry again, Mr. Loomis. All right, now that we've figured out where the circle goes, let's jump back into the drawing and move on to the next steps.
By the way, if you're serious about learning to draw from scratch, I put together a full pencil drawing course covering all the basics step by step. You'll find the link below this video and in the pinned comment, and there's a discount running right now, so check it out.
All right, now back to the drawing. The next step is to divide the circle straight down the middle. Since the face is looking directly forward, not tilted, this center line should cut through everything, the nose, the mouth, the chin, and land right between the eyes. Now that we've drawn the vertical center line, let's add 3 key horizontal guides inside the circle. First, the top line marks the bottom of the hairline. Notice how it curves slightly to match the shape of the skull. Next, the middle line goes right through the eyebrows and lines up with the tops of the ears. Then the third line passes under the nose. Now here's something important. The spacing between these 3 lines should be roughly equal. Hairline to eyebrows, eyebrows to nose, and then we add one more equal space down to place the chin. And just like that, we've divided the face into its 3 main sections. Now let's trim the sides of the circle. Since this is a front-facing head, the skull isn't a perfect circle. So we start on the left. From the top horizontal line, draw a line outward and curve it down to meet the bottom line. Then do the same on the right side. This gives us the true width of the head, and it'll help guide the jaw and cheekbones later on. All right, we've built the top of the head, so now let's head down to the jaw. From the sides of the circle, we curve smooth lines down to the chin line. And just to be nice, let's give her a neck. 2 simple lines. We're not drawing muscles or anything crazy, just enough so she doesn't look like a floating head. All right, after trimming the sides of the circle, let me show you a secret, because a lot of people seriously mess this up. See these 2 blue lines? They're not just decoration. They help you place the mouth at the right width, not too wide like the Joker, and not too tiny like you just ate a lemon. They start at the top of the ears, curve down past the cheeks, and end right at the bottom of the chin. One on the left, one on the right. Your secret weapon for drawing better faces. Now, let's close off the lower section of the face, just like this. And we'll add the ears down here in the lower outer quarter of the head, just like we explained earlier. And hey, if you ever struggle with portrait drawing, remember, I created a full step-by-step course that takes you from absolute beginner to drawing confident, realistic faces. You'll find the link to the course below this video and also in the pinned comment. Go check it out. All right, remember at the beginning when we removed the hair and noticed her forehead was a bit taller than average? Well, before we move on to the facial features, we need to fix that. I'm simply raising the top of the head a little bit so the proportions match her face more naturally. It's a small adjustment, but it makes a big difference. All right, now for the quick sketchy step. Let's drop in a small circle for the tip of the nose, right on that nose guideline. Then 2 oval shapes for the eye sockets, 1 on each side. Don't worry, they look weird now. They always do. Next, we use our 2 magical blue lines again to mark the width of the mouth. Told you they'd come in handy. And that's it. We've locked in all the main features. Time to gear up for the real battle. The battle of the facial features. All right, now let's sketch the nose. We already have that center circle for the tip, right? Now we add 2 smaller circles, one on the left, one on the right, touching the sides of the tip like tiny nose buddies. Now from underneath where the circles meet, we curve in two dark little lines. That's where the nostrils go. Yes, it looks funny at first. That's totally fine. Every good nose looks weird before it looks good. Next, on the outer edges of those side circles, we add two curved lines upward, like little cheek ramps. This gives us the sides of the nose. Now erase the extra overlapping lines in the middle, and boom, the nose starts to make sense. Let's shade it just a bit from the bottom up to show the rounded shape. A few light lines going upward helps give it form. Finally, draw a line up from the tip toward the eyebrows. This is the nose bridge, and a little shading along it makes the whole thing pop. And that's it! You've got a nose that looks like a nose, not a balloon with holes.
Now let's move down from the nose and draw the mouth. We'll keep it super simple. Start with two ovals, one on top, one just below it. The top oval is for the upper lip, and the bottom one is for the lower lip. Think of them like two soft marshmallows, stacked just right. Now, where the ovals meet, we draw the line between the lips. But here's the secret. Make sure that line curves just like her smile. Not too straight, not too dramatic. That curve gives the face so much character. Once we've got that, let's go back up and define the upper lip's top edge, then down again to shape the lower lip's bottom edge. Now we add some light shading inside the lips and around the mouth, especially those little smile lines that come down from the nose. And that's how you get a soft, natural mouth that actually looks like it belongs to a person, and not a talking potato. And to finish off the lower half of the drawing, I added some quick shoulder lines, just enough to give the figure a sense of structure. A few soft shadows in the neck and shoulders, and I also sketched in the straps of her dress, just loosely. Then I placed some light shading on the cheeks, just to start bringing a bit of life to the face. And hey, if you'd love to learn shading properly, how to build depth and realism, I cover all the core shading techniques in the full pencil drawing course. You'll find the link below the video and in the pinned comment. Check it out and take your art to the next level. Now let's move on to the eyebrows. We're placing them right along the horizontal guideline we set earlier, the brow line. But take a closer look. The right eyebrow is just slightly higher than the left. It's subtle, but it makes a difference. Now for the drawing part, use the tip of your pencil and draw in short, light strokes from dark to light. Think of it like feathering. Don't press too hard. And remember, the outer edges of the brows should be lighter and softer. Take your time here. The eyebrows do a lot to shape the expression. Now it's time to add the hair. We start by placing the hairline right where we planned it earlier. This part is important. It helps control the height of the forehead and sets the stage for the hairstyle. Next, we sketch the outer shape of the hair from the top of the head down both sides, making sure the volume feels right. And here's the key. I don't draw every single hair. That's not how sketching works. Instead, I block in a few main strands, just enough to suggest the flow and direction. Think of it like mapping the movement of the hair. Then in the final step, I add my favorite part, those little messy hairs that escape the main shape. They make the hair feel more real, like it actually belongs on a living person. So don't worry about perfection here. Hair is supposed to be a little wild anyway. Now it's time to draw the eyes, the most important feature in the whole portrait. If you mess this up, the entire face feels off. So let's take it step by step. First, I draw a soft horizontal line just under the brows. This keeps both eyes perfectly aligned. No one wants a wonky stare. Next, I sketch the crease, the fold above the eyelid. I always start with the right eye first, then copy the same curve on the left. Keep it smooth, no sharp corners. Now I draw the top eyelid, following the exact curve of the crease. After that, I add the lower eyelid. Together, they create the basic eye shape. Then I place the iris inside the white area. Make sure the circle is balanced and in the right spot. This is what gives her that exact look, that spark in her expression. After that, I add some light shading in the whites of the eyes, just a hint where shadows naturally fall. Now I start drawing the eyelashes, because they're what give the eyes their beauty and complete the outer shape. Eyelashes aren't just random lines. They follow a curve, and they all point in a specific direction. So take a look at your reference and match that flow. Once the lashes are done, I move on to shading the iris. I build it up from dark to light, keeping the gradient soft and natural. Then comes the pupil, the darkest spot in the eye, right in the center. And don't forget the highlight. That small white spot is what makes the eyes feel alive. It's like the sparkle in a real person's gaze. These finishing touches might seem small, but they're what take your drawing from just okay to something that feels real. And just like that, we're done with this beautiful portrait. If you want to learn how to draw from scratch and master realistic face drawing the right way, I've got a full step-by-step pencil course for you. It's fully dubbed in English, easy to follow, and right now there's a big discount available. You'll find the course link below this video or in the pinned comment. Got a question? Or something you're struggling with? Drop it in the comments. I'm here to help. New video coming soon. Until then, keep drawing, artist friend.